final extended major project. Our project aim is to create your best work yet for our exhibition at the end of the academic year, to be displayed for our community and to provide you with your calling card for whatever you want to progress into next, whether it be university, apprenticeship or entry-level work, demonstrating your skills and knowledge gained since starting your course. Deadline for the final extended major project is 4:30, 26th of May 2023. There are interim, that is, checks on your learning, opportunities for feedback en route to the 26th of May. And this submission checklist here provides us with these milestones on the way to the 26th of May, where you'll get feedback from your teachers. There are 7 outcomes on the final extended major project, and there will be no surprises here. You have been trained to plan, produce and evaluate. We push you towards industry standards, and we will continue to do that in this project. You will be researching, analysing, solving practical problems, organising, reflecting and presenting your work to the best possible standard. Here are the tasks you're going to be focusing on for the next 3 months. Project logs are going to be mentioned every single week. That continual, and I'll stress that again, continual reflection, adaptation, iteration and evolution of your ideas, being open, taking on feedback and getting better and solving problems is so well evidenced in project logs. So rather than it just be that evaluation in the last week, you're also going to have undeniable evidence of continual reflection through this project. Podcasts, vlogs, written pieces, whatever's best for you. But every week, make no mistake about it, you're going to reflect. In this video today, we're going to focus on the project scope, which is this part of our task schedule, which will take us up until the 24th of February. So the first week, let's have a look at what we're going to be focusing on. As you can see here, we're going to be focusing on project logs, project scope, and a little bit of research in week 1. Project logs, as mentioned, will continue all the way through this project, but this Gantt chart gives us an overview of our priorities. If we stick to that, we won't go far wrong. Task 1, project scope. You're going to analyse, think deeply, interrogate, investigate the requirements of the final extended major project brief. So you're going to read this brief, essentially. You're going to think deeply about this brief, and you are going to generate your initial idea. But then begin to clearly define what your final outcome will be. What are you actually going to make? What are the files going to be? What are you going to be exhibiting and putting on that board in the exhibition at the end of the year? What are the project milestones for this project? You've had a bit of a clue already, haven't you? And what are your deliverables? What are you going to be making? Audio, video, images? What are the files? Think about what you're actually going to be creating. So, for task 1, we want a proposal. Going to produce a project proposal of about 500 words, and UAL have provided us with this template here, which I'm going to put on the screen now so you'll get an idea of what we're looking at. So, we are wanting from you, whether you are games art and design or whether it's creative media, makes no difference. We want a rationale of you reflecting, reviewing and summarising your progress on the course so far, what you know now, how it compares to what you knew when you started the course, and how this has influenced your choice of what you're going to make for your final extended major project. How does it connect you from where you are right now in February to where you want to be in the future? It's also an opportunity for you to explain your reasons for choosing your discipline and to outline your immediate and long-term aspirations. Chance to reflect. Project concept. Clearly explain what the aim of your project, production, performance, whatever it might be, is, and how the research will support its development, what you will be producing, and what resources you will need. Here you're going to indicate what you need in terms of rooms, actors, resources, time from individuals, teachers, peers. Don't wait till the last minute. Start thinking about it now. Evaluation. How are you going to reflect on your work? The aforementioned reflective logs might be a way to do that. One-to-ones with your teacher, perhaps another way to do that. Peer feedback beyond our classroom. Year 1 students, Year 2 games students, Year 2 art students perhaps. Online forums perhaps of other UAL learners. What research sources are you going to be drawing upon? Having just completed Unit 12 Specialist Study, you might have an idea of where to go to get some interesting jumping off points. Let us know here, and please, bibliography in the Harvard format. Here we want an outline of your project plan and the timetable. What activities you intend to do, what resources you will need. This will help you and us to organise your plan to give you everything that you need. Next part of task 1 is a project scope document. Here we need you to consider and document the scale of your project, how big it is, how achievable it is, and the technology workflows you're going to be using in this project. So this helps us to think about resources, making sure you've got the right support in place. I want you to reflect on what is needed for your project, your purpose and justification for the project, how you know that you are getting to where you want to be, what are the goals. Here we want you also to think about the project in terms of all known characteristics of the product that it's going to be. It's a life cycle, the project. Describe it here. It will change and adapt. We want to know what your intended cycle is at the very start. Descriptions of what is included in the product or service and the actual outcome we're aiming at would be useful here. So successful completion of the project. Tell us what that looks like. Envision it. The high-level requirements are difficult to know at this start, but it's important to try and think about what the best possible outcome for your project might look like. The boundaries in terms of time, resources, people, your capabilities. State here what the boundaries are. Strategy. The size and complexity of the project dictates this ultimately, but I want you to think about your plan, your strategy, how you're going to use your time, resources, how you're going to adapt and learn from previous projects as well. The approach that you will take is what I'm looking for here. Deliverables. So a high level of detail of what you're actually going to be producing. The acceptance criteria is what needs to be included as a minimum for it to be achieved, complete. Clearly defining this helps us to be certain in what we are doing. Constraints. So in terms of limitations, there might be. Think about physical as well as psychological, as it were. How are you going to plan for these constraints? How are you going to ensure that all limitations within the project are thought of ahead of time? Assumptions. So thinking about your own biases and prejudices, which we all have, of course. What factors are there that affect the project that you believe to be true that you have not yet verified to be true? Is your project actually viable, the correct way to move forward? Is there an audience for it? What biases and assumptions have you made that you need to interrogate and investigate? Work breakdown structure. So an overview of the work structure broken down to more detail. So what the action plan, once it's broken down into more detail, what you're actually going to be doing in those weeks. What are your sub-goals within the action plan that you outlined in your proposal? Break down your work and look at the 3 months ahead and think about how you're going to use your time intentionally. The work breakdown structure is the action plan with more detail. Work package outlines. This is a more detailed description of each individual work package of what you're going to be doing each week. You can combine this section here with this section here by all means. Okay, it's a detailed document, but this is a detailed piece of work. We want you to think deeply about this project. The last part is a Trello task board and a Gantt chart to help you manage your project's delivery. So using Trello, we want you to manage your projects. You can log in using your Google account and you can create your task board in this shared space for us. We'll have some lessons on this, Amanda and myself, to help you organise what it is you are doing on your final extended major project. This will run all the way through our course. Nice way to manage your workflow. If you want to use something else instead of Trello, please negotiate that with Amanda and myself. For example, Miro might be an alternative. We want a Gantt chart also. So for a Gantt chart, I've given you guys a template here, which you can adapt because I want you to take the headings and adjust them. I've actually given you 12 weeks at the top here, but these subcategories here, name them, change the dates, and adjust accordingly. You may want to use a different Gantt chart template, but I thought I'd give you guys this one to consider because it's quite a good one, quite nice and professional, I think. There you go. So there we go. Quite involved, but it should be involved. It should be thoughtful. These elements here make up task 1. I want you to use your time outside of lessons with focus and intention. Any questions, use them well in lessons. Come to lessons with questions. Use the Google chat spaces. Use the Learning Hub. 3 months, that's all we have. Throw everything at this. Okay, any questions, speak to Amanda and myself. We are here to help you.